Welcome back to the Suitest Solvers.
My name is Sinclair, and this is my sweet mate Lisa. And we are running a series in which we discuss murder mysteries and conspiracy theories and try to get to the bottom of what really happened.
Valentine's Day is among us. So in this week's episode, we're going to discuss the death of Conrad Roy, a young boy from Mattapoisett, Massachusetts, who was driven to suicide by his girlfriend Michelle Carter on July 13th, 2014.
Conrad Roy, born in 1995, was just 18 when he was convinced to kill himself through text messages sent by his 17-year-old girlfriend at the time, Michelle Carter. He just graduated high school in June of 2014 with a 3.8 GPA and was an all-around student athlete. He even got his captain's license from the Northeast Maritime Institute. However, Roy suffered from crippling depression and social anxiety from childhood trauma.
This is something they had in common. Carter also had a history of an eating disorder and self-harm. They first met back in 2012 while visiting family in Florida. After that, they only saw each other a handful of times, even though they lived 35 miles from each other in the Boston suburbs. But they did continue to exchange texts and phone calls a lot.
Weeks leading up to his death, Carter sent texts encouraging him to go through with it, and even gave him ideas, which we will put here. One text read, "So I guess you weren't going to do it then. All that for nothing. I'm just confused, like you were so ready and determined."
Roy eventually drove to a Kmart parking lot in Fairhaven, Massachusetts, and committed suicide by poisoning himself with carbon monoxide fumes. In 2017, Carter was only sentenced to 15 months in jail for involuntary manslaughter, but was let out early at 11 months for good behavior and allowed to serve the rest of her probation in society.
Despicable.
Yeah, let's talk about that sentencing. Is it enough, do you think?
And why is it involuntary?
Involuntary? Yeah, it seemed pretty premeditated to me.
Yeah.
Personally.
And I don't really understand what she got out of that.
Also, now she's like out living life, like
with
normal.
a haircut. And I'm
She's
sorry.
got an ugly haircut now.
She looks cooked. Like, no, bro. Like, she really thought that haircut was... Okay, I'm not even...
Yeah, she might have thought. But, no, but she gets to, like, live out her life now, and he's dead.
Yeah, and he was supposed to go to Fitchburg State.
Yeah, he actually decided not to go to college right before that.
Yeah.
Like, that was December. He's like, nah.
Mm-hmm.
But that's, like, tragic.
He could be sailing the seas right now.
Sailing the seas?
Because remember, he got his captain's license.
How old would he have been now, you think? Probably 28. 1917.
No, what?
He died 2014 at 18. You think he'd be...
No, I'm trying to do the math. Okay, that was been 8 years. Okay, so it was 25.
He would have been 25.
Yeah.
Okay, so I was a little too high either way.
But why do you think she did it?
I don't know. Maybe she was like living out her dreams in somebody else.
Oh,
you keep saying you're gonna do it, just do it.
Apparently, like they were supposed to do it together. Like he was supposed, like they were supposed to do
they
a
were
Romeo
supposed to do
and
like a
Juliet.
suicide pact.
Yeah, I think she said a Romeo and Juliet type thing.
But she was giving him like so many ideas of how to do it.
Yeah, and
so
then,
clearly she was like dreaming of doing the same thing too.
Yeah.
I just don't understand why she had to go first and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Also, when they found the body, it was very obvious that it was a suicide. What made them want to investigate his texts?
That's a good question. I think because, also when he got into the car and all was like he had the hose going and whatever, and he got out of the car and called her. That was she's probably the last person that he called, and she was like, if you don't get back in the car right now and do it, she didn't say it like that, but she was like, bro, get back in the car. Yeah.
Wow. I didn't know about that last phone call.
Mm-hmm.
That's so messed up. And in Kmart, yo, that was another one of the texts that she was sending was like, you keep making excuses. Now finding a parking spot isn't like an excuse. Bro, what?
Mm-hmm.
You're telling that to your boyfriend?
I wonder
if you supposedly care about?
And if it was in the daytime, how did no one see that?
Because it was Kmart. When was the last time you've been to Kmart?
But like still, if there's a pickup truck with a.
There's a pickup truck. Oh, okay.
But you just gotta think about that, you know.
That's
like,
probably what he was looking for was empty parking lot, Kmart.
Yeah.
When I think empty parking lot, I always think Kmart first.
Yeah. He's
And
a
then,
handsome man too.
Yeah, he was a handsome boy. Right here.
And you know what? People, as weirdos always do, they always like romanticize this. Like the
Oh yeah.
yeah, like when there's like a crazy
There was
girlfriend.
another similar case. There was this licensed nurse that would convince his patients to like kill themselves if they wanted to kill themselves. He'd be like, "Yeah, kill yourself," or like he'd like go on like Omegle or stuff like that and convince people to hang themselves.
Okay.
And he admitted to like at least 5 or so people killing themselves for him. Like that was his fetish.
Speaking of licensed nurses and suicides, what do you think assisted like suicide
Like
should be a thing?
euthanasia?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know about euthanasia.
Yeah.
I don't know because I don't. Well, who gets to do the thing, and whose choice is it?
The hospital,
Whose choice is it?
the person.
What if the person can't talk?
Well, that's the thing. There's like people who live in vegetative states, but their family is like, no, and it's actually doing them more
I always
harm
think about
than
that
good.
girl. What was her name? Victoria Ireland.
Yeah.
She was like in a vegetative state. I'm gonna put a correction if I got her name wrong. But she was in a vegetative state like when she was a like preteen, teenager.
Yeah.
For like several years, developed 2 autoimmune diseases, and then she was able to talk, and then she was able to use a wheelchair, and then she was able to dance, and then she went on Dancing with the Stars, and she also was an ex-athlete, I think. I don't know, but she's like crazy cool. She wrote a book.
Mm-hmm.
So she spent like a year or two
Yeah, I don't know.
So it's like, dang, they could have euthanasia'd her. Euthanized.
Euthanasia.
Yeah.
I just told my family, because I used to go to Six Flags a lot, and I said that like if I fall off this roller coaster and get paralyzed, just kill me. Because if I can't go on, you can't go on a roller coaster if you're paralyzed.
Yeah, you can.
I don't think
safely.
they should be allowing that.
I mean, if it's one of those ones where they put the head thing on it, you can technically put a body in.
Yeah, you can do that, but it doesn't mean it's safe.
Yeah, like that's why I said.
Like pregnant people can't even go on.
Safely.
If a pregnant person can't go on a roller coaster, why do you think a paralyzed person?
If we based everything on what pregnant people couldn't do,
they do a lot.
Yeah, they can do a lot. This crime. Was there a murderer? Was there a murderer? Because she didn't whip out any. She didn't whip out any. She didn't whip out any weapons.
Yes, she has. Her weapon is her
texts.
Yes.
Her weapon was her phone.
Yeah, that was the big like controversy. Like, is it really? Because it's text. But anyway, happy Valentine's Day.
What? How are you gonna spend your Valentine's Day? Galentine's Day?
Yeah.
Me too.
That was one crime solved.
Join us next time when we solve our next crime.